Okay, so just had a crazy download. Shout out the sun, masculine energy right there, powerful, bright, does not give a flying fuck if it blinds you, if it's too hot, if it's too this, if it's too that. It's saying, yo, suck my dick if you don't fucking like it. This is what I am. That's crazy. It's the embodiment of what we wish to be. Everybody wants to be a superstar. What the fuck is the sun? Do we not forget what the fuck that shit is? It's a fucking star. The superstar. I don't give a fuck if you're Brad Pitt, Bad Bunny, anybody. The only superstar. Right? And it provides us that insight, that ability to see everything for what it is, because it's shining its light so bright that you're able to spot the bullshit. Right? Give me some insight, I'm hearing. Sight within. That's why we work in the daytime, because we know what we're doing. We've shown it, right? When your light is so bright, your aura ends up pushing away all of the bullshit, allowing you to see much farther for much longer. But you don't, the idea of always being there is ridiculous, because you're denying the other half of it, and that's the moon cycles. The de-shedding of the person. That's crazy. Double sneeze confirmation. It's like the sun gives us all of this energy, right? All of this energy to go. That's why we work in the daytime. Gives us all this energy, and then allows us to have a moment of what the universe allows us to have a moment of the other energy, so that we are receptive to it and are able to reflect on it. Where do you see reflections the most? During the night, you know what I'm saying? Look at the water or the ocean, with the moon by it. Beautiful reflection. Not that you don't get that with the sun, because everything's a reflection of itself. But with the moon, it's dark, so it's deeper. You don't know what's out there. And because you don't know is what makes that phase, one, very important, just as important as the sun. Two, it is the embodiment of the other half's manifestation. It's saying, now that I've looked so far, I can go within insight and reflect on what I saw, so that the next time it comes around, I have expanded my consciousness. And it's not just being aware of your surroundings, it's being aware also of yourself, because you are in the surrounding. You are not separate of the surrounding. And everybody likes to check their surroundings for the paranoia. You gotta be safe and shit. But when have you included yourself as part of that surrounding? Because just as you're looking around all suspicious and shit, you got other people looking at you in their surrounding, acting all suspicious and shit. So you are part of the surrounding. What are you experiencing during that moment when you're observing your surrounding? And you realize that before you wouldn't observe very far, because you just didn't give a fuck. You wanted to be kind of here, look at me. I'm overwhelmed. It's just too much. I can't, this. And because it's a real feeling. But that's why in the daytime you have those experiences, so that the sun shows what the fuck you're not seeing during the night, makes you have those emotions, so that when it's nighttime, you're hiding in your room or wherever the fuck, and you end up de-shedding, going through your phases, your moon cycles. Or I think the woman's period is in cycles, moon cycles. It's very much connected to the moon. It is the moon. It's the dying off, it's the decaying of that day, because everything that lives dies. It's a repetitive thing. That's why death is fear-based. It's not real. Not in the sense of the way that we see it, or most people see it, that we're going to die. But we're energy. Energy doesn't disappear. It's not, can't just, this physical body dies, and what does this consciousness being do then? Because if it's not attached to, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a big difference between the body and the mind, and when you connect that, you can bridge that, and you see how beautiful it works. Conscious energy cannot die off. It needs to be moved. It needs to be go somewhere. Right? It's either transferred or transformed. It cannot be created nor destroyed. So you're going from a physical death, physical bodysuit death, that's what we believe in heaven, to the consciousness, whatever you believe in after death, you know what I'm saying? It's all fucking real. But even in every example, people still fear death. And it's not because it doesn't exist or we don't know what's happening. It's because a lot of the times it's what we've been doing already, and it reminds us of that. And then we feel guilty and shame and all of this shit. But the beautiful part of it, that's the cycles you're supposed to go through. That's the moon phases you go through to reflect on from what you were shown with the sun and be like, damn, I feel anxious as shit all the time. Why do I feel anxious? What's around me that's telling me something's going to happen and I don't like it because I think it's bad? And do you know what I mean? Or why am I upset right now? Why the fuck am I angry as shit right now? Why am I happy? Why am I enjoying myself right now? What in my that main question, what am I feeling? What in my surrounding does that show me? Like, you build these ideas through reflections, but any confirmation noises and any traumatic experience, you remember the dying of that day or the end of that day, because that memory is so beautiful, right? Or you remember the time you broke up with the person you loved the most, right? That dying off of. You died in that version of you because it's traumatic. That is the death experience of, you could say, your ego, your person. But you're still alive because the consciousness didn't die off. And that's why it feels like death. That's why heartbreak is killer. It feels like your heart is broken because it feels like death. If your heart was broken, you die. Hello? That's how intense that feeling is. So, like, just let that shit settle in real quick. One, because I kind of forgot what I was talking about. No, okay. But let it settle in. We die all the fucking time. Every death is at night, and every rebirth is of sun, because look, literally, it is a soul rising up, ascending to the skies to show what it's been reflecting on during its moon phase. And I just learned something recently where it's the idea of as above, so below. And the way that this TikToker described it, you know, not just described it, but she literally she's adept with it. It was mistranslated. Because as above, so below is still stating that it's two separate beings. That what is as above is also so below. But that's two things. So she said that it's supposed to be translated, or what it says, as above is so below. That unifying it, it's oneness to that. As in, what you are experiencing on the inside is what you're going to experience on the outside, because that's what it is. What's in here is out there. Not what's you feel like here is also like outside. It's different. Because that one, if you separate it by saying, and also you'll feel like what's in here is outside. What's in here is outside. What I see in here is what I'll see outside. What I feel in here is what I'll feel from outside. If I don't feel I love myself, I'm not gonna find the person that wants to love me. I won't see it because I don't see it. I'm fucking, I'm down bad with money, shit. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm not gonna make any good money. I don't have a good job. Okay, well, if you don't see it, there's no opportunity then. Anything you see on here is what you're going to see out there. And what pulls your attention out there is what's going to show you what's in here. So you're being guided at every fucking point. That's wild. So that's why a lot of people go in and be like, yo, just stop and look. Because you're seeing and it's triggering you, and then you stop that, and then all you do is you end up accepting, oh, I deserve that, or whatever the fuck you see for yourself. I'm not worthy of love. I deserve to be mistreated. My idea of this is that, coming from this, from that, because my dad did this or my mom did that, right? What you see in here is what you're going to see out there. So when you pull in a relationship, that is the relationship you see for yourself. You've chosen that person for a reason. The beautiful part is because you're gonna have a very traumatic death when you break up with that person, or when you lose that job, or when that thing fails, or when this person passes. Just, you know what I mean? There's just a lot. When those traumatic experiences happen, you die so dramatically that you have to come back in. That's why grieving processes happen. It's for us to come back in and be like, oh shit, let me be this. And it doesn't have to be mechanical where like you're always thinking like that when it happens. It's more just like once you are aware that it's like things are happening, surrender to the experience completely. Speak your fullest truth. Do not hold back as far as how you're feeling. Obviously be respectful and have a controlled environment type situation if you're able to have something like that. And to be honest, this is just with yourself as well. So remember, nothing's outside of you that you need to start doing this or to, be better. It's mainly only, and if anything, it is only for you, by you, with you, guided by you. Like it's self-healing is very, very intense. It's a very big journey, and no one talks about this journey. School should begin with the elementary and middle shit, preschool. Start at the beginning. My sister's doing that shit, and it's fucking crazy to see the difference between what I've experienced and what he's experiencing. Not only did we break a bunch of generational curses, but you're building an environment for that being to already be at a high vibrational frequency. It's the new age baby type shit. Let's not label it, but that's just how it feels like. Because you got baby boomers, you got the COVID kids, which he's a COVID baby. Doing some freaky shit. Fucking cochinos. No, but seriously. Seeing the difference between my environment and that environment is so fulfilling. To look at it with envy, that means, damn, I'm hurting. There's your cue. There's your friend. You were supposed to see that because you were guided to see that so that you can, snap. Is that little smack in the face like, hey, okay, what am I feeling? What is this shit? And okay, I'm burning in that shit, so let's just move. Oh shit. This download's coming in fucking heavy, okay? This is how it looks like for me, pretty much. You know what I mean? Okay. You were supposed to see that experience or have that experience so that it snaps you into that next phase to give you that next death. You'll continuously do this. Everything fucking sheds. Everything. If you're not shedding, that's why you feel so much weight on you. If you're not shedding, you'll wake up already burdened. Because you're not shedding, you're not growing out your fucking skin. You can clean the dirt off of your physical body, but what are you doing with your mental, your emotional, your vibrational energy as a whole? What does that look like? Because if that looks like it's fucking dirty, then you smell like swamp ass right now. Let's just be real. And you feel like swamp ass probably because of it. And it's not to knock you. I'm just gonna speak fucking truth in the way it is because that's me being my authentic self. I like to talk shit, but in the space of love. You know what I'm saying? Like crack on you. Like, I'll say some wild fucking shit because it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, I find the funniness in the intensity. I find the joy in that. Obviously, you have to gauge it with people, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I have to do that. I prefer it, and I also don't mind gauging myself because I am a whole being. I don't have to be like, nope, if it's not like that for me, then I don't want it. I know myself well enough to gauge myself and have my boundaries to tell me, hey, this is the space I don't want to be in, absolutely. Boom. You know, you learn all of this shit when that thing happened to you. All we end up doing when things like that happen is we identify with that shit. We become the monsters that fucked us up. And my biggest fucking goal, and it's happening, it's completed, and it feels amazing to talk about it. My biggest goal is that, and it's not even a goal because this is what it's gonna be. It's going to be a day where when things happen, as far as, because I feel like relationships, especially cuffing season coming up, you fucking cochinos doing some nasty shit on summertime shit. Okay. When that cuffing season hit, you know, you gotta come back in. What was I talking about? Oh, okay, relationships. So you have to just come back in, wiggle your toes, ground yourself. What's going to happen is, what's happening when two people get together and when things don't work out, because not everything's gonna work out, not everything is intact. We are without attachments. If you hold on to attachments, then you're going to suffer. This is what it is. The day when two people can break up, right, or split off, and not use that negative energy to hurt someone else and continue this bullshit repetitive karmic cycle that I am absolutely tired of seeing and dealing with, where it's like, you hurt me, so I'm going to hurt the next person because I'm hurt. And I need someone to feel like that, because that's childish shit. That's shit. It's a cry for help. Childish, not in the sense of trying to downplay it, but just more like you're being a child. You're acting like a fucking child. In that child space, that's your inner child that just popped out. That is the inner baby you, the person who's crying all the time, who's been asking for help and never seems to be noticed when they need it. When you catch that inner child, whew, that's it, that's everything. heal that inner child. It's crying, it's been crying, it's going to keep coming out because you're not listening, and you're gonna end up going through much more much more intense experiences to wake you up. So it's really a matter of like, how many more lessons do you want to repeat? How many more cycles of this shit do you want to keep going? Because we can go on this shit all day. We got lifetimes, baby. You are eternal. You are an energetic being here to experience itself through experiences. When you have those experiences, your consciousness expands because you've learned something. And when you learn, that means the universe has expanded. Look what the fuck just happened with all the photos that came out with the new telescope. That shit is crazy. To bear witness that is to see that beyond what we can't see, there's beautiful shit. I'll be right back. When you're able to not do that and come back within and heal yourself instead of causing more damage, you've broken a cycle that is going to change everything. When it's shown to me, it's wild. It's unimaginable, to be honest. But the idea in itself is like, the more we're able to transmute or change that decision, instead of hurting somebody, I'm gonna come back within and deal with me only. I don't care about anything else right now. And heal myself. What is this happen? What about this is calling me, right? You've created an environment, just like when we were talking about the babies. You've created an environment with other people now have the opportunity to have more time to heal. Why? Because people who do the shit right now is just, they break up, they go immediately into another relationship, and then immediately to another, and they keep repeating, and they're hurting people along the fucking way. And it's just a fucking chaotic tornado. And it's like, I don't want you to feel that fucking pressure, because that's what's happening. When you remove that chaos, you created peace, right? You created peace to come back within and be like, yo, that shit was wild. Like, anything bad that happens to me, I'm not worried about, because it's not bad. It was showing something for me, and I'm able to fully, like, no bullshit, I dive deep when shit happens for me, because it's not necessarily the surface level of what is happening. Like, for example, what happened to my car and all that shit, right? It wasn't about that. It's what triggered everything from there. I went from here to straight down here, as far as like the versions of myself that I wasn't dealing with, and it was time for me to not kill them off. Allow them to die off naturally, peacefully. When you have that space to heal, and couples, relationships, marriages will be up the fucking roof. Kids will have a better place to grow and be more aware of themselves as they're growing, instead of having to depend on everything, and being able to deal with their problems instead of what I've been accustomed to, what I've done for me, and that's self-soothe through abuse, substance abuse, living in my own imagination, and that's it, and not worrying about anything else. Like, we're living in a void. It was that for me, but I still remembered a lot of things, which is weird. I was very much in my Virgo hermit mode for a good amount of years. I even past high school. I would even say mid-20s. I chose not to. I mean, no bullshit. I've gone out and be like, fuck this, fuck everybody, fuck these bitches. I don't give a fuck. You guys are all hoes and shit. That's how I was feeling. Because that shit hurt. It made me feel like everything I would do is not worthy enough. It's not enough. It's never been enough. It will never be enough. And no bullshit, I do some crazy ass shit, okay? I'm very much a romantic. That's my Venus, that's my Mars, that's my everything. It's just like, and because of that, I haven't had experiences where that shit sucks. I know this pain, and I speak on it like I'm mechanical, like a teacher with no empathy to believe me. I feel that shit. I feel its remnants, like when you have a scab and you pick at it and you can feel it, like, you know, a little itchy, like you feel like something happened here. And I love that feeling because it makes me remember those things as a moment of just, wow, that's fucking wild. I went through some wild shit. It showed a lot about me where I was in that space and now where I am right now. And dude, who the fuck am I? Right? I know that pain. I embrace that pain. I don't want more of that pain. But that's because I've embraced this so much now that I'm like, okay, like, I'm cool if it happens, but I don't want it to happen. It's not for me. So you better fucking come correct. If not, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the fuck out of here. Yo, I got a line. Get your fucking ticket. I gotta go.